Welcome back to Cheddar's opening bell. With the winter months and winter weather quickly approaching, there's one item that the pandemic is triggering massive demand for: propane. The demand for outdoor heating has skyrocketed, and now suppliers are worried about keeping up. Joining us now is Michael Stivala, the CEO of Suburban Propane, the third largest propane supplier in the country with a 41-state footprint. Great to have you on. What is your number one concern right now when it comes to demand? Are you able to keep up?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Jill. Absolutely. As the third largest supplier of propane, we have access to plenty of supply to meet the demand. In the United States right now, we're still about 10% higher than the 5-year average of propane in inventory at this time of year, given a combination of production outweighing demand in both domestically, but also export demand. You know, the United States produces about 2.2 million gallons a day of propane, and 2.2 million barrels a day of propane, and exports about 1 million barrels a day. So there's plenty of propane in the United States to meet domestic demand, including the increased demand from a shifting patterns of demand from more people living in their homes and cooking more indoor needs, as well as the demand that we're obviously seeing in the restaurant sector, as more and more restaurants are coping with the need for outdoor dining.
On that topic of restaurants trying to encourage people to dine with them despite cold weather, clearly there's this huge need for outdoor heating. Are you providing any sort of relief to these restaurants that are already hurting in terms of propane supply?
Yeah, so we work very closely with all of our customers to try to meet their demands, not only for product, but also to help them with flexibility in working with us and making sure that we can get paid, but as well as making sure that we're meeting their budget needs along the way.
Now that outdoor dining it looks like that's one trend that may come from this pandemic is that outdoor dining might be here to stay, and even outdoor dining in the winter, assuming it's not, 20 degrees. Do you think that there is going to just be this increased level of demand for propane even post-pandemic?
Well, I think what we saw with the pandemic is, propane has always been a very versatile product, and it's known for its clean burning attributes, its cost effectiveness, versatility in terms of many different applications, and mostly for its portability. So certainly, as we've seen shifting demand patterns, propane has been really sought out by many different applications to be the solution. And I think there's a resurgence of an appreciation for just what propane brings in terms of meeting the needs of consumers, whether it's in the home or in this case in the restaurant industry. And what we saw in the middle of the pandemic is when there was such a demand for the outdoor testing centers and shelters, propane was a real source of supply in an immediate need, because we can bring a tank, we can bring it in at a moment's notice and get it hooked up to an adequate heater and bring supply immediately. And we were able to do that in numerous locations throughout our 41-state footprint in the middle of the pandemic. So we did see demand patterns shifting significantly. At the trough, I would say commercial demand was as high as 25% down. What we weren't sure, but was a real pleasant supply, was the demand from the residential sector that really more than made up for the decline in commercial demand. Now, as we've become a little bit more accustomed to, more commercial businesses coping with the new norm, if you will, dealing with whatever the requirements are in the state that they reside in. We're seeing the demand picking up significantly in the commercial sector, and the good thing is for our business is that the residential demand is still there, and I think we're seeing that there's probably going to be a bit of a permanent shift with higher residential usage, and I would like to see that commercial industrial demand begin to stabilize, and that's what we're starting to see as we get into the fall.
All right. Well, Michael Stivala, CEO of Suburban Propane, so great to have you on. Thank you so much for your insight. Appreciate it.